So a lot of people have always said Under 21 is top 5. Under 21 is blah blah blah, and most of these people do not play 21. I had to argue with so many people like, oh, you know, just hit someone, snap in a character that has teleport, steal teleport, and bam, now you have a mix-up that is almost as good as all the other top tiers start out with, and you only needed to get 2 hits and spend 2 meters. It's like, no, her steals are basically not useful. You use the steals if you can get them without sacrificing anything, which is rare, but it does happen sometimes. But at that point, it's like, it generally means you already killed someone, or like you're doing it as you're killing them, and it's like, if your point character is already killing their point or another character, they've already done their job. But how well they do past this point isn't really that much. It's really not that significant because you're already winning the match. And most likely your point is taking 1 or 2 hits, so they're gonna die, and she can't like regenerate all of her life and come back in as like Dark 21 and just like shit on people with double teleport. Air teleport is okay. Air Kamehameha is okay, but it's not as good as Kid Boo's or Cells. Yellow steals are bad essentially. You can use the grounded air grab one, okay, if you already have them in a throw situation, in which case it's a slight upgrade over just dragon rushing them. What else? The absorb is okay. It's very okay. Once they learn how to play against it, it's a lot worse, but it's okay. It's just hard to get both of them unless you're TODing someone, essentially. Because if you use both of them, you're gonna throw them out of the corner. Is there any other good steals? Her like reality stone thing, is bad. It's too slow. Way slower than Piccolo's. So yeah, her steals are fucking mess. Her command grab is trash. It's just really bad. I don't know why they made it that bad. I'm not gonna go on and on about all of her faults too much because I don't want people to get to download her in case I keep playing her. But her strengths are definitely like obviously damage, 100%. Like she has fucking the best or second best damage, I would say. I feel like only Cell really compares. Was like in the talk of it. She has good neutral. I wouldn't say she has the best neutral. I would give that to. I would probably give that to either Gotenks, Kid Buu, or Cell, but I would say she's probably 4th after that. Main reason is if her jump medium was like Piccolo's, it was disjointed, it would be a lot better, and as well if it was a light. So if you use her, it can be hard to confirm into a full combo. So I'll quickly show you guys on the game screen here what I mean. The problem is that like she can get a confirm from this range. Fuck. Like she can, but depending on how she's hitting them, sometimes it will go over, and this is not a good combo starter. You have to use an assist to follow up. It's not like it doesn't scale too well. It doesn't give too much corner knockback. If you go forward, it can be hard to bring them down because her jump light is really short. So you will frequently have situations where the light will miss like this, like that. So while it is an amazing normal, it has some faults. Whereas Piccolo's is very disjointed. Like, look at that jab. It's just ridiculous. And it doesn't have a big hurt box. And because it's a jab, you can just double jab it. And this allows you to beat Super Dash on reaction. Whereas 21 has nothing that beats Super Dash on reaction. And this is really a big problem. a lot of characters, if they time it correctly, can jab a super dash. However, 21 can't. Cell can do it, Kibu can do it, I think Bardock and 16 can do it, Gotenks can do it, Gohan can do it. Because 21's jab goes so high, it's really hard to beat Super Dash. And medium, because it gets out of hurt box before it gets out the hitbox, is really hard to time, and it only works from some angles. This essentially makes her full screen game a lot worse. She's not threatening here. Her down medium doesn't reach, and is, by the way, way slower than Kid Boo's. And that difference really makes, like, it really counts, because it's just really hard to make them sit long enough to take it. And then she doesn't get confirmed if she doesn't have meters. She can't use most assists to follow up like Kid Buu can. He would just do assist into medium grab. Her crushing medium is 1 frame slower than Kid Buu, so it doesn't matter too much in the grand spectrum of things, you'd think. But it does matter versus Bardock, for example. He can Rebellion Spear on round start and it will beat it. It matters a fuck ton against Kid Buu, because it means that Kid Buu will always win the situation. And she doesn't block string from it, so that's the best she can do, really. But it's not a true block string. If you put guard first only here, it will not block string, which means you can reflect it, you can punish it. Whereas if I run Kid Buu here, even from even further away than hers even hits, that's a true block string, and then you just go into 50-50. It's insane. It's insane how much better that normal is. Not to mention that he has 1M, which has almost no recovery at all, and it's great for block strings. And the big problem with hers compared to his is that she has a lot longer cooldown on block. And if you're not interested in like Ender 21, why the fuck are you still watching? Because I'm obviously just gonna talk about her and her faults and her strengths. Heavy is pretty good. It doesn't do as the exact angle that you want a heavy to do, which is down forward, but it does cross up, and that can be really useful for some situations. It's also pretty good in the corner. When you hit them, you can get a follow-up sometimes. Main problem, I would say, with her is that her block strings are really lackluster. Like, even if you just do mediums, you're now out of range from her jab. But many other characters have jabs, or like, say, Cell's standing medium, which is 8 frames, will reach here. So if she ever goes to mediums, she has a lot of trouble getting back in and continuing with block strings, because she essentially has to do a dash up light to follow it. Whereas, yeah, obviously characters like Kid Buu, they can do a medium and then they can just like do this. They just have a lot of better options from the mid range. And yeah, she is a character that really needs assists, but the problem is that she doesn't get mix-ups from assists. That's honestly the biggest problem. You see people like Sonic Fox run a team with essentially no neutral assist and just 2 mix-up assists, and she can't block string outside of corner into her dive. This will just not block string. She can't block string into her crushing heavy. And so this makes Reflect really good against her. Especially if you happen to do this and they reflect the crushing heavy, then you die. And so she has no good way of setting up assist into a mix-up. And even when she does do that, she doesn't necessarily have good mix-ups compared to the other top tiers. That's something I would say that is one of her biggest faults. Her number one biggest fault is, I mean, everyone knew this, but It's the fact that she doesn't have sliding knockdown. And this is insanely huge in this game. She has no viable options. You can't vanish. Vanish can be delay teched. And even if you want, say, like a Dragon Rush, which you can do with Vegeta, she doesn't have good things to follow up with. If you Dragon Rush someone in a combo, or like, fuck, how do I do this? But yeah, if you Dragon Rush someone and then try to IAD after, if you do heavy, then they can jump out. If you do medium, then they can crushing heavy you. So she doesn't have any good Oki whatsoever. She can't even meaty someone after they wake up. And so some people will say, hey man, Leffen, why does this matter? She has high damage. Well, you see, in this game, there's 2 damage values, or 3 damage values. It's, you need to hit them 3 times, you need to hit them 2 times, or you need to hit them once. Some characters like Yamcha will Yamcha 18, they will have to hit you 3 times. Some characters can sometimes 3 to hit you, like Kid Buu Gotenks can sometimes 2 hit you depending on how much meter and what assist they have available. And some characters consistently to hit you, like Gohan, like Cell, like 21, like Tenshinhan. And she is in the absolute highest tier of damage, where she will have really high damage. She can even TOD from viable starters with some teams. She can't TOD from as many teams as Cell, and she can't do it quite as freely as Cell, I would say. She has a few more restrictions on her, but she can TOD, and that's obviously a big strength in this game. The problem is that the biggest thing if you 2-hit someone is that if you play Cell, if you play Gohan, if you play Kid Buu, and you get 1 damaging hit, you have a really easy time getting the second hit. That's the biggest thing. When 21, she will fucking make you cry with her damage. Alright? Like, she will do something like that, and she will get you to half-life, and you'll be like, fuck, 1 more hit and I die. But then the problem is that in this game, blue health is so ridiculously strong that you will hit them to half health. But then you have no good Oki to speak of, and everything, she's really weak against Reflect, as we were talking about. So Reflect tag, just raw Reflect, jumping out a corner, Rolling Crush, or EX Ball. All these things are really hard for her to stop. And unlike Cell, she doesn't have good mix-ups either. So Cell will hit you once, and then he will hit you again from really hard to block Oki. Whereas 21 will hit you once, do slightly higher damage than Cell often, but have a much harder time getting the second one. And so some people say, oh well, but you did more damage, that will pay off later. It can, but most of the time you will hit them to half-life. They will tag out, they will get 75% back. And once you come back in at 75%, most characters can 2-hit you. It's only really Yamcha maybe that couldn't consistently 2-hit someone with 75% life. But she still can't very reliably 1-hit someone. She can't do 7.5 from most starters. And neither can Cell. But that's just the thing, right? That like, because tagging in and out is such a big part of this game, her damage increase, or like the fact that she does slightly higher damage than some of the other characters, doesn't matter as much because she has hard time hitting twice in a row, and that's what really matters in this game. And some people will say, well, 21 is the best character with steals. I don't think so. I actually don't even think she gets close to the best characters with steals, because none of them give her Oki unless you also have an assist. Even then, most of the good combinations may require you to have teleport plus a green or a yellow one, for example. In which case you're like, fucking great, you hit 2 different characters and you gotta steal somehow. Now you're a good character. It doesn't matter. It's like if Dark Phoenix was only slightly better than other characters, it's not enough of an incentive. But yeah, she's tall, which makes Fuzzy's work on her. She has really bad jab, 8 frame, or I think 7 frame, but it's really short range. But is she a bad character? Absolutely fucking not. I will never ever say that 21 is a bad character. I think people overrate her, especially there's this thing where everyone that doesn't play her thinks she's fucking OD. And I'll outplay someone to hit them twice with like a combo, and then just they're stupid and I fucking standing medium them or something, and they think that's as, you know, easy as getting one cell combo and then doing a Kid Buu cell mix up. It's not, but she can keep up. I will never say that she can't keep up. If I drop her, it's not because she's bad, it's because she's not Cell, she's not Kid Buu. And her main flaw in this meta, her absolutely biggest main flaw, is I don't believe she works with Kid Buu. I don't believe she works well with Gotenks. She works okay with Tenshinhan, but she really would need that other top tier to work with her. And so I think my team is the best or close to the best 21 team. But even I could see that, like, if I switch out 21 for Bardock or Gohan or 16, maybe not 16, but Gotenks or Kid Buu, then I will have a much better team just by one character.